Hey everyone, this is D, Movie Man, fellow cinephile, popcorn addict, and emerging film critic, coming to you with reliable recaps, reviews, and reactions. And today I'm coming to you all with yet another Take 6. This time for The Idea of You, co-written and directed by Michael Showalter, and starring Anne Hathaway and Nicholas Galitzine. Story-wise, the film is centered around Solène, a 40-year-old single mother who, after an unexpected excursion to Coachella with her daughter, finds herself falling for the lead singer of a popular boy band. So, to start with the prose, this is actually an adaptation of a novel that was written back in 2017 by Robinne Lee. Now, I was already very familiar with Robinne Lee as an actress, given her roles in films like Deliver Us from Eva, Hitch, 7 Pounds, and more. So it was really cool learning that not only was this her debut novel and that this was someone I was already familiar with in one sense, but that the same novel was now getting a film adaptation, and it was just really awesome to see her branching out in this other aspect of her career. Now, if you guys have not checked out my latest short, then let me go ahead and tell you that I had the chance to see this film at the Atlanta Film Festival. I took a little trip on down to hang out with my mom and to check out the festival, and I got to watch this on opening night. And I got to hear from Michael Showalter, the director himself, in the flesh, in person, and it was so enjoyable. Just hearing his perspective. He's just, very quirky, very funny, but, obviously takes his craft very seriously, and I just enjoyed that entire experience. And it was really interesting hearing from him, but also realizing that I was already familiar with some of his more recent films, including The Big Sick, The Lovebirds, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, a film that did go on to win 2 Academy Awards. And I have to say, not only hearing from him, but just experiencing the film, I really appreciate his direction. I think that what was most enjoyable about this film, along with performances, is just the fact that the execution of this film is so straightforward. I think when it comes to rom-coms, I think it's a love 'em or hate 'em type situation. I've never really disliked rom-coms. Some are much better than others, let me say that. But it's just one of those feel-good genres where I always know if I don't have anything else to watch and I need to stay up late, have myself a snack and just hang out, a rom-com will never let me down, for the most part. So I love the fact that this film was just very honest. It felt very genuine. It felt like it didn't feel like a bunch of Hollywood, over dramatic, silly, superfluous nonsense. It felt like real characters. It felt like a genuine relationship. It felt like genuine stakes, genuine conflicts, and that's something I also really appreciated. I also have to give credit to our main 2 actors. Anne Hathaway, I've been on board with her since The Princess Diaries. Besides the fact that Anne Hathaway seems to be ageless, I really understood Solène. I understood her heartache. I understood her frustrations. She was expecting her life to pan out one way, and then all of a sudden, something happened to completely disrupt that, and now she is trying to find herself again, trying to discover what life means now. And all of that made sense to me, and it all felt very relatable. I would also say, as far as Nicholas Galitzine, who is definitely blowing up as of late. He has been in Red, White, and Royal Blue. He's been in the series Mary and George. Now he's in this film. I'm sure he has plenty of other things lined up, but these performances between them both, they brought a depth to them that we don't always get in these type of films, and I was so impressed. There were moments where I was just like, oh, wait a minute. It's just like the honesty, and that's the thing for me. Honest, genuine emotions and honest, genuine performances is always going to hit home, and the characters resonated with me. And despite the age difference and despite the things that were complicating their relationship, I was just like, make it work. Fix it. Do what you got to do to make it work. So I think the film was very effective. from that standpoint, and even as far as the story, I think it did a good job making it feel somewhat fresh. Yes, the formula is still there, but for the most part, it just felt like I was on a different journey with these characters. And that was something, of course, again, I absolutely enjoyed. And lastly, I also appreciate the work that was put into this film by the production team. The Coachella in question was filmed right in Atlanta, and they used a speedway. The stage was built, everything that you see. And the thing is, I haven't been to Coachella, so maybe folks who have been would be like, that's not Coachella, but I couldn't tell the difference, and it was amazing learning that even in some place that couldn't be further away from where Coachella would actually be, that the team was able to replicate that feel and to replicate an actual Coachella on stage, on the screen, and all of that. I was so impressed by that. And that's just another one of those things that I love about production, especially when it comes to the behind the scenes work. Always here for that. Now, as far as my cons, I would say that the biggest con is just that it's really hard to subvert a formula, Because even a film that tries to give some new energy to a formula is still working with the formula. So I would say that there is some level of predictability because you're like, okay, when's the conflict going to come and what's going to be the thing that tears them apart besides age, and all these other external factors. So there's the sense that you kind of know what's coming, although it's not 100% predictable. There is a formula, and obviously that affects how you experience a movie like this. I would also say that I wish there was a little bit more development as far as Solène and Hayes, and I think this is where the adaptation piece complicates things because, of course, with the books you spend much more time with these characters. You get into their heads, you get to see what they're thinking and how their relationships with other people, how they progress, and all these deeper thoughts and insights going on, but we don't get as much in this medium, and we have to kind of move the story along. So I wish we would have had an opportunity to learn more about Solène and Hayes and their backgrounds. We get that, but just understanding more about how their individual lives inform their relationship and their desire to be together. So I think some of that fell short for me. So I'm going to give The Idea of You a B-. I have to say, I did not have high expectations. I didn't really have any expectations, but from the look of it, it's kind of like, oh, okay, another rom-com, straightforward, simple, but the fact that it is straightforward and simple, but it also gives, like I said, I keep coming back to that honesty piece, but it feels genuine, it feels real, and just something about the film just has this charm and this feel-good element to it, which of course you can find in a lot of rom-coms, but this just felt different. There were real stakes, there was a genuine relationship forming here, and even with the conflicts and the complications, some of that went deeper than I thought. Yeah, it's not just, this is what people will say. It gets very real in that sense. Yeah, I just thought this was just a good time. And I love the fact that with this being a theatrical experience, everyone was having so much fun. Everyone was enjoying it. I don't take anything away from the streaming experience. I have had experiences with all types of films, especially at home. So I'm not discounting that. But I will say it would have been interesting to see how this would have done in a theater because the audience response was great. It really was. We were all having so much fun with this. And like I said in my At a Theater reaction, what a great way to kick off opening night of the Atlanta Film Festival. So grateful, and stay tuned because there's plenty more to come. So, once again, this is D, Movie Man, signing off, and I'll see you at the movies.